Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have kind of a hair related video, and this one is going to be the pros and the cons of tape-in hair extensions. So I just recently had tape-in hair extensions and I wanted to do a pros and cons video talking about what I like about them and what I didn't like about them. So I did already remove them, so there will be a removal video on how I did it and how I took these out of my hair. I wanted to do a pros and cons video talking about the good and the bad, because I know a lot of you who are considering getting tape-ins probably want to know, are they worth it? Like, what sucks about them? What's good about them? So I'm here to give you that pros and cons video today. So I might as well just start with the pros of them. I had them in for about 5 weeks total before I took them out, and one of the instant pros that I noticed when I got my tape-ins in is the instant volume and length that it gives to your hair. Oh my gosh, I have pretty thin hair. This is all my natural hair and it is pretty thin. I do have a lot of hair, but it's definitely more on the thin side, and it is a little bit more complicated to get that full big hair look with just my natural hair. So another pro to having tape-in hair extensions is they are super easy to apply yourself at home. You don't necessarily need to go to a hair stylist. You don't need to go to an extension expert. They are pretty easy to do, especially if you have someone else there to help you, especially with the back of your head. I definitely recommend having someone with you to do the back of your head. That way it's just easier and you don't have to worry about doing it by looking in a mirror behind you, and you can save a ton of money if you just have someone help you do it at home. I did do a video on how I applied them myself. Another pro that I have to tape-ins is that they do last a considerably long time, especially for like a semi-permanent extension. You can make your tape-ins depending on the brand and the kind of hair that you get. You can get your tape-ins to last up to 8 to 12 weeks depending on how well you take care of them as well. They do obviously come with a lot of maintenance and a lot of care, which I will get into later on in this video, but they do last a pretty long time, especially if you are someone who color treats your hair like I do. 8 to 12 weeks is a perfect amount of time, because then when you take them out, you can get your roots touched up. So I think 8 to 12 weeks is a pretty good lengthy amount of time. Another pro that I have to tape-ins is that they do stay in really well. I know when I had them in, I could brush my hair, pull my hair, braid my hair. I could do whatever I wanted to my hair and not one of them came loose. As long as you apply them correctly and you have the tape and the right amount of hair and you use a little bit of heat to seal the glue, they aren't going anywhere until you remove them yourself. Which that is another thing that I wanted to add to the pros, is they are really easy to remove. They do stay in well, but when it does come time to remove them, it's literally so easy. I was able to remove mine myself, which you guys will see in the removal video once I upload it. Another really cool thing about tape-ins is they're just like real human hair. The brand that I had was by Irresistible Me, and they are 100% real human hair. You can wash them, cut them, style them, curl them, dye them, whatever you want to do to them. It's super easy to do. I was able to do pretty much anything with them that I would normally do with my real hair. The only thing that would be a little challenging is if you do color treat your hair and your roots start to come in, it's probably not going to be very easy to touch up your roots with tape-ins. That's probably the only thing that you couldn't do, but pretty much anything else you can imagine you can do with tape-ins. You can put your hair up really easily. I was able to wear my hair in ponytails, in buns, pretty much any hairstyle that I wanted to, and the tape-ins really kind of worked with my hair and I was able to put it up, so it was really easy for work. Another thing is that it looks just like real hair. No one really knew I had tape-ins until they noticed the length and the volume in my hair. No one could really tell that I had extensions in, so they look super natural as long as you apply them in the right spots and you have the right color. Moving on to the cons of having tape-ins, I only have a couple of cons that I noticed through my experience with tape-ins. I know some people may be different, but for me the pros definitely outweigh the cons. So me personally, I think tape-ins are definitely worth it and I would definitely do it again. I will say though, after having them removed, it feels really good to have like nothing touching my scalp. Like, I will definitely take a break for a while before I apply more in. But the number one con that I noticed with tape-ins is the maintenance. They are so much work. And the reason I say that, so much work for me, because with my hair usually always just looks like this. It's always down, it's straight, it's not like, I never style my hair ever. But once I got tape-ins, I noticed the amount of work it takes to keep them nice looking. They require a ton of brushing. You have to condition them. Another con is that it can be expensive. To purchase all of the hair and to go to a salon to get it done, you're looking at close to $400 to $500 depending on who you go to and what kind of hair you get. So it can be pretty expensive. I was sent my tape-ins for free for a review for you guys, so I personally haven't experienced the price tag of having them, but if I were to purchase more or go to a salon and have them do it, it definitely would be a little bit more on the expensive side. Another thing I noticed that kind of sucked about having tape-ins is how heavy they are. Oh my gosh. So if you're someone who has pretty thin hair like I do, you definitely notice a weight difference between your hair and having like 2.5 packs of tape-ins put in. When I showered for the first time with my tape-ins, it literally felt like I had a 10-pound weight hanging from my head. They were just super, super heavy. I took a very long time to get used to how heavy my hair was. So that can be kind of straining on your neck, and it can take a little bit to get used to. But if you're someone who has thick hair and you just want to get it for length, you probably won't notice much of a difference in weight. The second to last con that I have when it comes to tape-ins is sometimes the tracks can show and you don't know it. Again, this all kind of plays in with the thin hair thing. So if I don't tease my hair in the right spot, sometimes I would have a couple tracks in the back that would show, which can make it a little awkward if you're out in public and people behind you are like, girl, what is in your hair? So then you kind of have to explain, oh, I have tape-ins, blah, blah, blah. So definitely when you have thin hair and you get tape-ins, it does require a little bit of teasing to kind of put over certain tracks that like to peek through. That's one thing that kind of sucked. I had like one in the back of my head that would constantly always show, and it drove me nuts. And then the very last con that I have for tape-in extensions, and this one takes the cake, and this is also another reason why I removed them early, and this also kind of plays in with maintenance as well, is the amount of knotting that happens in your hair. Holy crap, you guys. If you do not brush your hair section by section, making sure you're getting all the hair brushed out every single day, sometimes twice a day, you will end up with what happened to me, which is knotting. I had about a good 2-inch knot, matted knot in the back of my head that I did not know was there, and it took forever to brush out. And then that's also kind of when I made the decision to take them out a little bit early, because I didn't want the knotting to get any worse. So pretty much I just took out all my extensions, and it took, oh my gosh, me and my sister were sitting there for maybe a half hour to an hour trying to brush out all of the knots. So again, that kind of plays in with the maintenance. If you're not used to taking care of your hair or doing things with your hair, expect a lot of knotting, because that is for sure going to happen if you don't keep your hair brushed out. Someone did tell me that knotting is normal when it comes to tape-ins, but I didn't think it was ever supposed to get that severe, so just keep that in mind, that when you do get tape-ins, you will experience a little bit of knotting if you don't brush out each section of hair perfectly. Okay everyone, so that is everything that I have for my pros and cons of tape-in extensions. I really hope this was helpful to some of you out there who are maybe considering getting tape-ins, who maybe don't know if you want them yet, or maybe if you do want them. Maybe this kind of helped you made up your mind. This was just my own personal experience with them. If you guys did find this helpful, go ahead and give a huge thumbs up and go down and subscribe before you go. But as always, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. I love you guys. Bye!